Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much, Bill. And it's good to see you again. And good to see people here at the annual Data Warehousing 2.0 conference or summit. This is our third summit as a gold sponsor. And today we're moving away from our traditional telecommunications case studies or interactive sessions. We're going to actually combine a master data management solution that we've developed for a client, which has 12 separate businesses they want brought together, plus 8 acquired businesses that they're just pulling into the fold. And they have in excess of 22 product master data management systems or applications. They're not systems, they're just applications, managing a disparate set of product perspectives. And we'll go through that and how we've combined that solution with our enterprise data warehousing and business intelligence solution. So the one solution satisfies both master data management needs and the enterprise data warehousing and business intelligence needs. So please feel free to make this as interactive as possible. I was just saying to Bill, we ran a session on master data management in Singapore 2 weeks ago, and it was an hour-and-a-half session, and I think we went for 2 to 2.5 hours because of the amount of questions. This is slightly chunked up from last year's telecommunications case study that we did of the Telstra Wholesale Enterprise Data Warehouse, which is a real-time implementation. And we've moved to a retail and manufacturing environment, and we had no manufacturing experience 6 months ago, and now we have a full set of enterprise service models and integrated logical data models for the retailer and manufacturing businesses, covering, as I said, 12 plus 8 acquired businesses, and in the process of still acquiring those businesses. So I'll quickly run through the outline of this session. First thing, I'll give you a brief overview of UTelco systems for those of you who haven't heard of us before. We'll go through some of the case study objectives. We'll look at an enterprise approach to data management and enterprise data warehousing / business intelligence. We'll then set the scene by looking at the one solution that we've implemented for both the enterprise across the 12 businesses and for their 8 acquired businesses. And we were just told last week that they're planning further sets of acquisitions. So our solution we've set up will cater for all of those acquisitions. It's a plug and play concept. We'll walk through the interactive case study, and if we can have as many questions as possible, we'll look at the master data management requirements and solutions, and then how that evolved directly to the enterprise data warehousing solution. We'll go through some of the product master data management requirements and solution, as I say, both the enterprise and acquisitions, the case study outcomes, how we then step into the future right now. So we have a coexistence strategy and architecture that we're asked about 18 months ago to develop for a client, and very successful implementation of that coexistence strategy and architecture. And we've incorporated some of those aspects, how you actually migrate from the master data management solution to a new enterprise data warehousing and business intelligence environment, which doesn't cost any extra, nothing above your business as usual. Then we'll look at your future generation master data management and enterprise data warehouse solution outcomes and next steps. Okay, UTelco systems. We've been operating as UTelco since 1998. We originally formed in 1982 as purely a data management consultancy company, and in 1998, because of our experience in utilities and telecommunications, we decided to specialise in those vertical markets. And we've been basically working in those industries since 1985. We also work across other industries, as I'll show today with the retail and manufacturing case study and interactive session. Everything we do is based on an enterprise data management foundation, emanating from our data management consultancy days. We were Australia's sole representative on the International Standards Organisation's Conceptual Schema Standard, which for those of you who have been involved in ISO is basically describes it. It resulted in the data modelling standards that we all use today, or most of us attempt to use, and some implementations such as SQL3 emanated from that Technical Committee 21, which we represented, or one of the representations of the 15 member countries. We provide specialist industry consulting since 1989 in utilities and telecommunications, now diverse into other industries because we have enterprise service models, industry level models, both functional data and information sharing across those enterprises in those industries. We have 7 of those in place, together with whole lots of process models, integrated logical data models supporting them, which is basically our basis of moving into any new industry or any new organisation. We start from the 25 years plus of consulting and implementation experience. We bring all that knowledge forward. So the knowledge is not in any one person's head, which is typical of IT. Ever since I joined in IT back in the early 70s, major issue in the IT industry, with the knowledge being required to be in someone's head. Therefore, when you put a team together, a team of 15 people, how can you get the knowledge out of each and every person's head across the whole team? And when you look at some of the data warehousing projects, no wonder 70% of data warehousing projects are still failing today, because that knowledge is locked away in people's heads and they don't share it. They don't like sharing it across. So we like sharing it. Our enterprise data warehousing, enterprise business intelligence strategy and implementation began in 1998, and that's when we started to move into delivery, primarily because we were performing the conceptual designs, you know, the logical data modelling based on the enterprise services modelling, the transformation functional specifications, all of those reports functional specifications, and we found that none of those in the industries that we worked in could actually implement them properly. Most of them were failing in their implementations, and it was because they never followed an enterprise data management foundation. They didn't have the principles, the philosophy of data management at all in any of the implementations. That's the key. The approach is the key, not the technologies. Most of the technologies in data warehousing work today, they're so much more mature than even 5 years ago. You know, the commodity-based tools, you know, such as Astrodata's N-Cluster, Vertica, and some of these, price performance is just killing the traditional, you know, leading-edge, massively parallel processing systems that we've all loved and got used to. And it's going to continue that way. We've been developing and enhancing our intellectual property for more than 25 years. We have both a national and international focus. 12 months ago, we opened our head office in Singapore, although we have been an Australian-based company up to this point in time, with investment from the Singapore government due to our intellectual property. We moved and we have a small but growing team out of Singapore, which we're planning to migrate to KL, Hong Kong, and one of our partners wants to take us into mainland China. So we've got some fairly advanced sort of growth planned ahead for the next 12 months.